The felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit Cankles McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I have fucking had it from top to bottom.
Hi everything! How are you to find out? Are you feeling right now? Hello guys! Channel 2, welcome. Hello channel! Welcome to my Hello guys! Welcome to our channel. Please always wear face wash and use hand sanitizer because corona disease is a very dangerous city, and always keep social distinguish. Romeo, save me! Please like, share and subscribe my video guys!
My name is Kendall. I'm a model. My favorite part of my body is my height.
So you're saying you don't eat crisps, you don't eat biscuits, you don't eat fried food, you don't eat snacks, you don't eat any of that stuff?
No, no way. That's what I call junk food.
But I think this is quite relevant now to what is going on. Have a look at what Obama said back then.
Oh yeah.
You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
How much money does NASA get paid every day?
NASA doesn't get as much money anymore. That's
How
why
much?
Tesla's a thing.
How much?
That's why SpaceX is a thing.
NASA get $50 million US dollars, your tax dollars, a day. Did you know that? $50+ million a day. A day. A day. Do you know how much that is in a week?
That's a lot.
350 million in a week. How much? How much did your fanboy Elon Musk sell?
Not a fanboy.
How much did he sell PayPal for?
100 million.
$350 million. 1 week's budget of NASA. He starts a car company called Tesla and goes into space and does things that NASA can't do on 1 week's budget when they've had that budget for decades. Do you really believe that that is possible? Yes, in a comic strip. Yes, in Disneyland, but not in reality. You cannot take NASA's budget for 40 or 50 years and with 1 week budget say, I'm going to do more than you can do. Impossible.
He admits in their defense magazine that their laser weapon that has no curvature to it whatsoever, it's not curving, can shoot down Russian and Chinese cruise missiles flying 50 feet over the water over 100 miles away. Now let me explain to you what 100 miles is, because you didn't know a minute ago what curvature is supposed to be there at 100 miles. I'll tell you. If the Earth is a sphere 24,901 miles in circumference, the 8 inches per mile squared on average means that in 100 miles there should be 6,666 feet of curvature. That's well over a mile of curve. There is no laser weapon shooting from a Navy ship doing this to hit a missile moving at Mach 4. I'm sorry, but the Navy admits by that the Earth is level and non-rotating.
FBI has been following for 3 days here on 7 Action News. Is a Detroit business buying and selling human body parts illegally? And what was inside the business? It may shock you. 7 Action News investigator Jim Kirchner is live with the very latest tonight. And Jim, is this part of that investigation? Is that winding down at all yet?
It is indeed, Jeff. Take a live look behind me. This is what's left of the FBI evidence recovery team inside this car. And take a look at this vehicle. We believe this is the owner of the business just returning to take back possession of his business. More on that in a second. But take a look. Another busy day out here on Detroit's east side, just down the road from City Airport. Sources say they have removed several boxes of what is believed to be human remains. Sources say many people. This was a big operation. And get this, inside this business, a saw used to cut up bodies, it is believed, all taken away as evidence to the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office, where it will be tested. This business is known as International Biological. It advertised as a medical educational service provider. The owner is Art Rathburn. He has a mortician license, has had in Michigan since 1982, but the big question is, did he get human bodies illegally, and was he selling them illegally? Just moments ago, the owner, we believe, showed up. I tried to ask him some questions. Mr. Rathburn, will you talk with us? What do you have to hide?
You see this section right here? This is the largest technology section in the whole store. Not the ones where you see the laptop and the camera. No, right here. So why? Because there's nanotechnology in the makeup. Look at this. What you see? Look at these nice faces. And to make sure for show the melanin faces, you know. All these people make sure don't for show the ingredients. You see how you have to peel off the ingredients? Alright, give me 1 second. Alright, so here you go. Take a look at some of these chemicals. All you see is chemicals. Nothing natural about this. Hexasiloxane, nylon-12, isododecane, alcohol denats, PEG-10 dimethicone, cetopeg PPG-10 dimethicone, PEG-20, polyglycerol-4 isosterate, dihydronium hectorite, phenoxyethanol, magnesium sulfate, silica, disodium stearoyl glutamate, trimethyl hexylactone, cross polymer methylparaben silica, and aluminum hydroxide. Not to mention the nanotechnology right here. You see the code them? You see the iron oxide? Yeah, that's the nanotechnology. Those are the nanoparticles that they use to allow these chemicals to go past the blood-brain barrier. And at this you chase. This you have on your skin. You see what I'm call it? Foundation. Because them set the foundation for the chemicals.
Ladies and gentlemen, the video you're about to see can be triggering, but there's nothing I can do and you deserve to know the truth. According to Dr. David Nixon, the Bluetooth phenomenon that is, going crazy right now in America and all across the world has a logical explanation. And it all has to do with the hokey pokeys. We've been talking about this for a really long time, and I have to make this video just so a lot of people that didn't used to believe before that they believe now can have a better understanding why in the world are they emitting a Bluetooth signal. We've seen the videos of the people that were walking in the cemetery and they were picking up all types of Bluetooth signals, right? Dr. David Nixon showed us these images. Take a look. These are from nanotechnologies that are self-assembling inside of your body, the same way that they have technology inside of phones. So you are able to emit a Bluetooth signal just like a phone, and you are able to receive directions and signals and orders just like a phone. What can humanity do about this? Number one, stop believing that hokey pokeys are the answer to the world. Ask you to please share this information. People deserve to know. The same way that a phone is developed in the inside is what Dr. David Nixon shows us here. And when you turn on your Bluetooth near a person that took the hokey pokeys, there will be a weird MAC address all the way in the bottom when you turn on the Bluetooth on your phone. Yes, I know this phenomenon is going crazy right now all around the world. But what is the science behind it? It's that nanotechnology that is running through your body. It all collectively starts working towards an area where it's going to assemble a chip or many chips, and it's going to start emitting a signal. What can we do about this, ladies and gentlemen? Detox.
What are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested at the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11, he saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in and reported it, and then he also called in a fake terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon bombing, and just so happened to get arrested at Charlie Kirk's event. So Tess Keyser, she responded to this tweet and she says, Grok is a guy really involved in all three events like this post claims, And Grok fact checks it and goes, based on a review of multiple sources, George Zinn was a witness to the 9/11 attacks, and he described seeing planes hit the towers. He was also arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. He pled guilty to a terrorism charge and somehow magically only received probation. He was also detained and questioned as a person of interest at the Charlie Kirk assassination on September 10th, 2025, but released without charges relating to the shooting. Then Grok went on and made sure that it told you there is no credible evidence that supports claims of his involvement in 9/11's false flag, facilitating Kirk's death, or Mossad ties. The main suspect in Kirk's killing is now Tyler Robinson, and he is in custody. So I asked Grok to break this one down for us, and it says so. And it wouldn't give me an answer first. It said it's impossible to calculate. Well, I said use statistical probability and give me a ballpark stat on the probability of him being at all three major events. And it goes through here and it breaks it down. And we get down here to the very bottom where it combines the probability right here. Combined probability. And it says it is equal to 0.705% or 5 times 10 to the power of 8. That translates to approximately 1 in 2 billion. Does all of that seem normal to you?
Alright, all you numerology nerds, this one is for you, because the Charlie Kirk death, it's absolutely dripping with numbers, symbols, and ritual. Hey, look at these numbers right here. But let's start the video. Okay, so first we have got the big headline that has just been released that they're telling us that they solved the case of the murder of Charlie Kirk within 33 hours. Not 32, not 34, but exactly 33, and we know that this is the elite's favourite number, their secret signature. Every time we see the 33 stamped on a world event or a headline, you're not just watching justice, you're watching choreography. Now let's jump back to the image that we started with, the one that has been blasted all around the world. You know, ever since this disaster, this is the image that went on every newspaper. 47, 47, 47. Well, 4 plus 7 is 11. 11, 11, 11 is 33. Right there, this is not random. This is encoded. Now, his t-shirt says freedom, right? Well, look at this. What a surprise. In numerology, freedom literally adds up to 66. That is literally the main number of symbolism that is printed across his chest. Whilst the public sees freedom, the code literally says ritual. Now check this, the timing, the story, it literally broke across the 9/9 portal. It carried through to 9/10 and it was wrapped up by 9/11. This is a triple ritual. In numerology, 9/9 is completion, 9/10 is transition, and 9/11 is destruction and rebirth. We all know 9/11 changed the world, and they're still playing that number like a drumbeat.
Less than 20,000 in all the satellite camps, including Auschwitz, and they died not of gassing. There was not a single gas chamber in all of National Socialist dominated Europe, because the killing method of executing, whether criminal spies, traitors, saboteurs, whatever, in Europe In every Gentile country in Europe, never ever historically was gas. The only nation that ever had this fetish of gas chambers, which is the most complicated, idiotic, and expensive way of killing people, was the United States.
Recently, I was asked to be the chief advisor on a committee related to the brain-computer interface and its relation to the international standards for technology. That basically is they're a group of countries all over the world, and they all have committees that represent their country. Those committees determine what the standards are going to be for technology when it's commercialized and goes all over the world. Like, for instance, a phone or a toaster or whatever, it's got to meet certain safety standards and all this type of stuff. These committees are determining public policy about what's going to happen when you interface the brain, the computer, AI, and quantum. That's going to end everything. Period. It's the end. It's the initiation of the decapitation of our relationship to God. Will become cybernetic. Will become, instead of carbon, will be silicon-based life forms, cybernetics, and they're going to do this via voluntary compliance. Most people will walk right into it, not even knowing that they're doing it or want to do it, because there's portions of the population all over the world, in the younger generations, that feel that humanity has no hope at all, and they're going to fuse with this technology already. So the brain-computer interface, it's tied in to everything. All our warfare systems, all our banking systems, all our health systems, all in the ways we do commerce and move about in culture. This is the extinction level event, because you no longer are an organic free will human being. You're now fused, tied into the cloud. And there's a documentary film crew that's recently contacted me, and I've talked to many people behind the scenes now. I've not been really public, not as much as I used to be, because I've always been in the solution orientated thing. Don't tell an audience just a problem without telling them a solution. So I don't want to come here and say, okay, we're at the end of civilization, and that's it. Goodbye, have a nice day. Rather than inform your audience, inform the people that will see this either live or taped or a year from now or 6 months from now, that this is the point where you can no longer be a spectator, period. Because everything that's in the news today, when this will be aired, is not relevant at all. It's all misdirection. And I say it's not relevant at all, not because it's not important, because it is important. But the behind the scenes, the powers that be want everybody distracted with the Epstein and the war and Gaza and Africa and all this other stuff.
I think Trump's remarks in the White House was AI. I'm going to show you the glitch. I believe this is the reason why they're going to try and silence us on social media, because we do the investigative work and we share it.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
Wait for it.
Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him
Watch.
and loved him are united in shock and horror.
Here.
Charlie was a patriot.
Did you see
who
that?
Devoted his life
Did
to
you
the
see the
cause
jump?
of open debate.
Did you guys see
and
the
the
jump?
country that he loves, united in
Watch.
shock and horror.
Right here.
Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to.
I had comment after comment that it looked AI. And when I hopped on that live stream, the White House's live stream, I was like, the color is weird. It's brighter than normal. This doesn't even look like him. But then so many people messaged me like, I swear to God, it's AI. So I watched it like 5 times and saw the exact same thing, that jump. And that is AI glitch.
Let's talk about the ring clip I included in my last video, where I claim video manipulation because the comments are full of people saying, that's just a hinge ring. Hinge ring, hinge ring. But I don't think so. And here's why. Do you know what a hinge ring is? Or did you just hear it said and repeated it? A hinge ring is just a normal ring, but it opens at the back. It's designed for people who have trouble getting rings over their knuckles, like if you have arthritis or swollen joints. You open it up, place it around the base of the finger, and then snap it shut. Super useful. But once it's closed, it functions like any other ring. It stays on that one finger and doesn't magically move between fingers. In the clip, the ring slides sideways, from the ring finger to the pinky, without rotating, without wobbling, and with no hand movement to cause it. That's not how physics works.
You can't do that, mate.
I can do it, Brad.
You can't do it!
How? Why can't I?
Jen, you cannot run 100 metres in under 7 seconds.
I didn't say under 7, did I? I said 7.5.
You can't do that, Jen.
Yeah, Brad! Oh my god. If it's 100 metres, yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, I will be able to run that in probably about 7.5 seconds.
How the fuck can you run 100 metres in 7 seconds on a world?
How the hell can you not? I will be able to do that in about 7.5 seconds.
No, you won't.
Why can't I?
Jen, the world record's 9.52 or 58 or something like that.
Well,
How are
they've
you
got slow people running it.
They're athletes.
Oh, they're slow athletes then.
How are they slow athletes? You're telling me little Jelly Davies from Portsmouth could beat Usain Bolt in a race?
Did he beat 7.5 seconds?
No.
Well then, obviously I can do that.
No, you can't, Jen.
Brad! Mate, I can't cope with you any longer.
Jen, you cannot do 100 metres in 7.5 seconds.
Do you know how long... Right, so a metre, Brad, yeah, like I keep telling you, is about this long, yeah? And 100 of them, I will be able to do that in about 7.5 seconds.
You cannot run 100 metres in 7.5 seconds, Jen.
You're stressing me out now.
My name is Jenna Miscavige. My uncle's the leader of Scientology, and I escaped when I was 22. When I was a little girl, my parents, just like my Uncle Dave, were high-level Scientology executives. I, along with all of the other children of executives, instead of living with our parents and getting an education, we were sent to a military-style Scientology child labor camp that they called the Ranch, and they pretended like it was a school. Here's what really happened. We were divided into units headed by kids who we had to call sir. Every day we did military close order drilling and Chinese school. Chinese school was where we learned to parrot back Scientology sayings in unison. I lived in a dorm with 7 girls that had bunk beds that was attached to another dorm with 7 other girls by 1 bathroom. All of our dorms had a photograph of L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology's founder. Our dorms were inspected daily, and so were our uniforms. The punishments for failing inspection ranged from public embarrassment to having to sleep in pig's berthing, which was a mattress in an unfinished attic with bats. We each had jobs. I was the medical officer. I was responsible for giving kids medicine and vitamins, bringing them food when they were sick, and doing Scientology procedures on them to cure their colds. We even had assigned duties in case there was a fire or an intruder. We studied Scientology until 9 p.m. and only went to bed after clapping and giving 3 cheers to L. Ron Hubbard. We only saw our parents for a few hours each week. Our letters to and from them were not private. We were only allowed a day off if we put in a request to several other kids who were our seniors, and then a few adults. And it was only approved if we had been productive enough that week, and if it fit into the schedule. Days off were not with our parents. They were at the ranch. We had no TVs, no video games, no toys. All kids were required to write reports on other kids for anything they did that broke the rules. We even had an allotted time every day to do this. If we didn't report others, we would get in trouble. We were called cadets because we were in training to become part of Scientology's most dedicated group. We were treated like adults and we were put in dangerous situations, like handling asbestos for weeks on end without any protective equipment. We were given gallons of bleach and ammonia and alcohol in order to do our weekly white glove cleaning. This meant we would stay up until 10 p.m. cleaning the entire property, enough to pass an inspection from an adult with a white glove. This had to be done before we could visit our parents. None of the kids got a real education or a diploma. Instead, our academic studies were taught with kids of all ages in one big room. No grades and no real help. We were attached to a Scientology e-meter several times a week to make sure we weren't hiding anything. We were used as a workforce for the Scientology base, where we would work in the kitchens, help to manufacture Scientology devices, and even as a moving crew. This isn't just about what happened to me. It's about how power works when no one's watching. It's about how they use freedom of speech and freedom of religion to do hurtful, evil things to society's most vulnerable.
He's just trapping and cursing people through his street performance. What? A guy in Italy, in Florence, after the pose, he always finds a way to grab their hand and put his hand on top of their head. And then they saw his eyes fluttering. Oh, underneath his eyelids. Two guys who are really like into Christianity and stuff like that. He said the Holy Spirit showed him cobwebs over him.
So I asked Phoenix, who can see in the spirit realm, he can see angels, demons, all that crazy stuff. What's going on spiritually?
I asked God if he could show me what was going on with this guy spiritually, and in the spirit realm, swirling around this guy is this gray cloud of spider webs.
What does cobwebs in the spiritual realm? That's witchcraft.
Really?
Yeah. So he's doing curses, and whenever they walk away, they see the same cobwebs over that person.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's a trap, fam.
Yeah,
he's like praying over him.
He looks demonic, bro.
The IRS used one organization as the model to shove every religion into. And that one organization was the Salvation Army. And they created 14 points and said, this is what the Salvation Army does, so this is what church is. Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, you name it, is tucked into that same 14 points. You need a house of worship, you need a board of elders, you need a creed or a form of worship, you need childcare. It's literally just replicas of the Salvation Army. Today, there's 400,000 churches in the US. You know what else is a church? The Hells Angels. What? Yeah, they're registered as a church. I had someone from the CIA call me a few months ago. They were like, hey Nathan, what do you know about the 14-point checklist? All I know is what the head of the IRS, the nonprofit sector, told me. And they go, okay, good, but it wasn't IRS that created that.
Who was it?
The CIA. And I said, why would they do that? They go, Christianity is dangerous, yes. And I said, yes. And they go, Islam is dangerous, yes. And I said, yes. And so they go, why not put everything into a box that you can control? So the carrot that the government uses to get religion into that box is tax exemption.
That for far too long refused to help. In 2002, I was living in California, a young woman with high aspirations of becoming an actress. I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry. A person I trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful woman who could help advance my career. That woman happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell. I was asked to give her a massage, though I had almost no experience, and when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone enormously powerful, someone who could change the course of my life, and that man was Jeffrey Epstein. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful. I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you. It breaks families apart. It shapes the way we see everyone around us.
This is a totally bogus arrest for me asking a member of Congress what he thought about Israel bombing Qatar, instead of investigating Israel for bombing 7 countries. Qatar, Yemen, of course Palestine, Lebanon, yesterday Tunisia, Syria. Israel needs to be investigated. It's slaughtering people every day. It is starving people every day. That's what needs to be investigated. Israel, not a non-violent peace activist that simply wants to hold members accountable. Please look up Daryl Issa and see how much money he has taken from AIPAC. He is somebody who is doing the bidding of AIPAC, doing the bidding of a foreign country, Israel. And us, the peace activists, who for almost 2 years now have been trying to stop the U.S. support for this genocide, are the ones who get arrested, harassed, and thrown into prison. Israel needs to be investigated, not me.
The Clinton Foundation is the biggest organized crime family that I know of. For example, Hillary Clinton took money from the Russians to sell American uranium to Russia. She took money from the Saudi Arabians to sell Syria and Yemen to Saudi Arabia and to justify ISIS and protect ISIS. Hillary Clinton is probably the single most corrupt politician in U.S. history since Lyndon Baines Johnson. And as Secretary of State, money would come into the Clinton Foundation and U.S. support would go out. And by the way, the reason we have 1,000 military bases is not for military power. They're lily pads for smuggling. That is how CIA smuggles gold, guns, drugs, cash, and small children for the elites in the United States. War is a profit center, not just for oil. War produces body parts. It produces orphans. It produces all kinds of human goods that can then be trafficked. And the banks rely on war and drugs for their cash flow, for their liquidity.
In the United States of America, Canada, and the rest of the world, there is a conspiracy. And that conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen, is this word called black. The word black quite literally means no standing in law, and it also makes reference to dead people. So when you use the word like black nigger, nigger, or when you use the word black in any contextual agreement with people, what you are basically saying is that they are dead. However, the wholesale and the magnitude in wanting for a better word of brainwashing that goes with it is what I'll be speaking to you about. You see, the word nigger, the word black, is used purposefully to program your spirit, your subconscious mind.
Quit watching NBA basketball, quit watching sports that are dominated by African Americans, quit going to Mexican restaurants. You want white culture, you go fucking live in it. You live in it, bathe in it. Like that's the only thing that I see when you get all white people together in the United States. There's no culture at all. So they have to go borrow culture from people. Even the word woke, they've borrowed from black culture. I went to a Mexican restaurant with my parents, my son, my husband over the weekend. And there's just all these MAGA looking people in there. And I thought, you've got a lot of fucking nerve coming in here. Coming into this Mexican restaurant where every single waiter, obviously English was their second language, served with a smile. They run a great little local business, and Oklahoma City is a better place because of these hard-working immigrants that come in here. But I cannot imagine the horror they feel when they are driving to and from work, when they might have a hearing on their legal status. I can't imagine the people who've already been taken from their lives. Right. And to see these fat ass, pink arm, teeny weeny beta pricks with their ugly ass wives walk into this Mexican restaurant and sit down and smile and be friendly. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, but do not participate in any of the shit that makes America cool. And what makes America cool is multiculturalism. And if you want to triple Trump and you want to browbeat DEI and you want to browbeat gay people and you want to browbeat black people as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, you want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit, Kankle's McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I have fucking had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your fucking smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that shit. No one.
So yeah, this picture right here, this is my grandmama. This picture, oh, my grandma said this picture right here, old as dirt. How old this picture is, Grandma? And how old was my grandma in this picture? How old did she live to be in this picture? 126.
On the topic of apparently thousands of people sharing the same false memory about being able to breathe underwater as children, can we talk about people that were able to fly down the stairs? Because apparently thousands of people remember being able to do this as well. And honestly, when I read this story, something clicked in my brain and I was like, I kind of remember that. But this story came from someone named Marlon, and he said that when he was in grade school, he flew down the stairs and there were witnesses. Like the other kids in his class also witnessed this happen. He said he was about 12 years old and he was a pretty athletic kid, and he was always jumping off like the 7th or 8th stair anytime he would go down the stairs. And this one day they're in gym class and they had already changed into their gym clothes. So he was wearing like a t-shirt, a cotton t-shirt, and a pair of sweat cut off gym shorts in their school colors. And he said that they were all in the auditorium, like waiting for the gym teacher to tell them what to do. She's like, we're going to go out to the back field and play a game. So all the kids run to the staircase, and he's the first one at the staircase, and he jumps off the 7th or 8th floor. And he said he'd done this like a million times, like it was like muscle memory at this point. But instead of landing like the hard landing that he normally would, he felt himself float, and the whole thing took maybe 4 or 5 seconds longer than it should have. And there were other kids standing on top of the staircase that witnessed it, like so much that they were even like, oh my God, did you just fly? Like, did you just fly? And he said when he landed, his feet like just gently touched the ground. A lot closer to the door than he should have been. Like he wasn't even exactly at the base of the stairs, and he's like, nothing made sense. Like my brain was racing. All the kids behind him are hooting and hollering, and he turns around and he's looking at them and they're just shocked. They're like, did y'all just see him float? Did y'all just see him float? And he said, being 12, he just tried to play it cool, like play it off. Like, yeah, I can do that all the time. But really he was freaking out. And to this day, as an adult, he thinks about that because he feels like he unlocked some kind of special ability for just a split second or a few split seconds. But either way, he said he wasn't wearing any special kind of shoes. He's not an X-Man. It wasn't even open, so a breeze wouldn't explain it, and people witnessed it. Because of his experience, he feels like humans have capabilities or special abilities that they're able to tap into when connected with whatever source. And the reason he's sharing this is because he's actually hoping to connect with someone who has unlocked their abilities.
Nepal keeps leading by example on how to topple a corrupt government, because this is our corrupt government officials having to flee their homes via a small platform dangling from a helicopter, because 2 days after the police killed what is now being reported over 30 people during the largest protest in Nepal's recent history, where their Gen Z are protesting the corrupt government, a government where less than 20 years after they toppled the monarchy formed a two-party system, and recently those two parties merged into one large corrupt party with zero opposition, controlling everything from the government to the media. So the people of Nepal burned down all the government buildings, including the parliament building, their homes like the prime minister's house. They even chased their government officials like their finance minister down the river while throwing things at them, including members of the police that they chased into the river as well. I mean, they even burnt down the Hilton because allegedly it was built with dirty money, which made the politicians resign and literally flee. And they did all of this without even taking anyone else's life. And originally there were reports that the prime minister's wife was in the house when the house burnt down. However, and it was actually the protesters that found her inside, saved her life, took her to the hospital where she is currently recovering. Because in reality, these people were even helping the wives of other ministers, who this woman was actually abandoned by her husband, by the way, because he was too busy running away. They didn't harm her, they actually helped her get to a hospital. And because the toppling of the government was reactionary, as in that it wasn't planned ahead that they were going to, but it was in reaction to the fact that the police were taking their lives, rioters and looters saw an opportunity and joined in, and they were actually the ones that set a lot of the fires. And I did see a bunch of videos of people that were way older than Gen Z that were breaking into abandoned police stations, stealing guns and ammo, and the night that the parliament burned down, it did get a little dark in Nepal. But the next morning, the Nepali people, and I'm not talking about a couple, I'm talking about hordes of people, like the majority of people came out and they started to rebuild Nepal. No, I'm talking like people literally came out and started to rebuild Nepal. And that includes the Gen Z protesters tracking down and finding everyone who stole and looted stuff and publicly forcing them to go return it to the businesses that they stole it from. Like, the people of Nepal protested peacefully. They effectively created damage without doing harm. Then they're fixing and repairing everything that was broken and then holding their own people accountable for their crimes. Rest of the world, I need everyone to take note.
El día de ayer, miércoles 27 de agosto del 2025, muchas personas reportaron el avistamiento de un objeto cayendo del cielo
Alright y'all, so I came across this video on TikTok and I couldn't be more pumped. Every once in a while they come through and it's just awesome when they do. I'm super excited. Take a look and look closely. Take your time and let me know what you think it is.
Un cometa, incluso antes de las 7 de la noche reportan un sonido, un estruendo muy fuerte que se alcanza a escuchar en muchos lugares de Oaxaca, pero también incluso de otros estados. Hay videos donde se observa el objeto como va cayendo, este bólido, parece ser un meteorito, y muchas personas empezaron a especular que este objeto habría caído.
The gentleman that filmed it lives in Oaxaca, Mexico. He was driving down the highway when he spotted this thing falling out of the sky. I'm super pumped about this one. It's awesome. Truly amazing that he caught this video. It is a once-in-a-lifetime capture. I hadn't seen it circulating at all on TikTok. It was all in Spanish, as you can hear, and it was all Spanish people commenting on it. I don't know that they figured out exactly what it is, but I pretty much instantly saw it. It's what you probably think it possibly looks like if you open the mind and actually believe in things like this. To me, it was instantly obvious. It's on fire. This thing got in a battle way up in the sky with another one and lost. And what's cool is he located where it landed on the ground, and he went to go and look at it and check out the scene. He was immediately stopped, detoured to another road where he could not see the object. But then it looks like he was smart enough to go get a drone and fly it over the burning object. And you can tell blatantly, even though it's burning, even though it's covered in smoke, what it is. So if you look closely here, when they fly the drone over the crash site, you can see a small hook, which is what you'll find at the crest of a dragon's wing. I also feel that in the video, if you look closely, you can see some of its phalanges coming up out of the smoke, and then you can possibly see its feet and maybe its head in some portion. It's hard to tell because it probably had been burning for quite a while. There's no doubt in my mind what that was a dragon. Absolutely crazy stuff. Watch it again now that you know. Let me know what you guys think.
It's cool. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There is a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. And the prize is the soul. So, just be careful.